And you know another thing that I just thought of?
But
That you like this too. That we love trailers.
oh my gosh, trailers. I could watch trailers as a show.
Just keep making things, and if people aren't letting you make things with them, like make your own things and just
Yes.
keep making as much as you can. Like, and don't get hung up if one thing doesn't work and just keep going. And
Even now, as a tutorial doer on the platforms, I'm like, what else can I do? I can't just do tutorial. Like I'm always thinking about the next thing and how it's going to change. And I think that's
yeah.
so important. Hi, Julie.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Yep. Good to
All right.
see you.
All right. So we're cheating because we talked a little bit before we started. So you have some news that I want you to share.
Okay, well, there are two comedy updates.
Okay, good. Let's go.
The first one is that I booked a New York City show for December
Yay.
16th at 5 p.m.
Very
for
exciting.
all New York listeners. We'll put it in the show notes.
Of course. You know, I love those show notes. Excellent. I'm so excited. And anything
And
else?
I posted, I posted a clip of one of my stand-up bits to YouTube Shorts. And this morning I looked at it and it has 5,000 views and I got like 4 new subscribers. So very exciting.
So good. You're lit up and it's just the beginning. That is so exciting.
Yeah.
Which clip was it?
The iPhone photo memories 5 years ago today. You were happy.
It's a good one. It's one of my
It is a
favorites.
good one. It is one of mine as well. It always works. It always
It
lands.
does. And I'll tell you why. Because in my opinion, it lands because it's relatable to everyone. You don't have to be a certain age. You don't, even if you if all you need is a phone. If you have an iPhone, even 85-year-old people, 92-year-old, as my dear old dad, has a phone. So we all know that feature. So that's why it hits and it lands
Yeah.
every time. So that's a good indication of the type of comedy you should focus on. Super relatable.
Thanks.
Super relatable to all ages. I love it. I'm really looking forward to seeing you perform again in New York. It's going to be fun. And we'll have lots of friends and family there. So we'll have a good time. It'll be like a little
I
reunion.
know. It's literally, well, from the day we're recording this, almost 2 weeks. But once this is live, it'll be like a week and a half.
It's going to be so much fun because
Yay.
I'm inviting people and I don't even want to tell you everybody that's coming so you could be surprised. Is that okay? No?
I don't know. Like,
Okay. I'll tell you then. Whatever.
never mind. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
Well, we're gonna have a good night. I'm looking forward to it. We were just looking at where to go after, maybe like a little a post party type thing. So we're looking into that. So come to New York and watch Julie and then hang out with the fam. It's gonna be fun. Um,
Amazing.
so this week for me, I just want to tell you such a funny little thing that happened. First of all, yesterday Elysha and I've mentioned Elysha Lincoln on the show before. She is a personal stylist, but she just happens to be a commercial stylist who I work with and a good friend. So she wanted to do a live collab, and we did an Instagram live yesterday for 40 minutes where I took a bunch of things out of my closet and she helped me put an outfit together for a wedding. It was so much fun. And what was cool about it is we did this thing where we were going to talk 10 minutes before and make a plan. And as we started to make the plan, we were like, forget it. Let's just go live and do the plan because it was going to be like a do-over if we just went live and we started winging it. And it was a lot of fun. But what was so funny about it is we talked about the outfits and the reason why certain outfits, this outfit, that outfit, and what she suggested, some things I would have never put together, which is amazing. So I'm putting Elysha in the show notes because if you are interested in any type of personal styling advice, she's your go-to. But my mother, grandma, watched the live last night, and I was driving. So it was dark. It was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I was talking to her on the phone. She's, oh my goodness, I was just watching you live. And so we're chit chatting. Now, mind you, this live was at noon. So it was daylights, a bright day in the apartment when I was recording this. And now it's 8 o'clock at night, pitch dark. And I'm driving, talking to her. And then she says, oh, where are you? And I said, oh, I'm in the car. I'm driving. How did you get in the car so fast? So she was watching the Instagram live, which was then posted to my Instagram feed and thought
Mm-hmm.
that it was live when she was watching it, which was so cute and funny all at the same time. Because I said, wait a minute, it's light out. That was hours ago. What are you talking about? She goes, no, no, you were lying.
Oh my
And,
God.
and it just made me realize that older people could easily be fooled by anything. It's terrifying, actually.
Hmm. They're
She thought
susceptible to
they're
scams.
very susceptible. You could see why, because I was like, no, you, and she's pretty savvy. So I said, do you understand that when I post, sometimes it's hours after the thing happened? I mean, that was like an epiphany for her. I thought it was
Oh my
so
God,
funny.
that's
I couldn't get
hilarious.
over it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah. If she listens to this, she's going to be mortified. But at the same time, I want you to know that this is like, it's not, it's probably not that unusual for people because you're in that thing and you think that's happening live in the moment. So that was a lesson for the mothership's mother. A very
That's cute.
a very hard lesson. All right, let's transition into our topic of the week. Would you like to tell everyone what we're talking about today?
When we're not on social media, what kind of content are we consuming?
Great. I like this because this one's going to be tough for me because most of my consumption is on social media.
Yeah, I was going to say, you used to read books.
I did.
I
Now when
haven't
people
seen you
say,
read a book in years.
I know, now when people say, what are you reading? I say TikTok captions because I don't have time to read a book.
You
I'm
do
too,
have time to read a
I
book.
don't. I'm creating content. I'm editing content. I'm posting content. I'm commenting and responding to comments. I'm like, okay, we have to be on this platform, that platform. We got to write a newsletter. I got to make notes and I have to do production work. So anyway, cut me some slack. I got no time for reading right now.
You somehow had time reading
And
back
some,
then.
I guess I did, but I don't, well, social media wasn't around. So I had way more time on my hands. So consumption for you includes reading, not even just viewing, right?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, I'm a big
I don't even
reader.
I don't even consider reading content consumption. How
I
strange.
read, I haven't read as many books this year. Last year I read almost like 30. This year I've been slacking, but
That's a
your
lot of
face.
books.
Um, but I do get into like reading like grinds where I'm like, I can't put this book down. I have to finish. And then I start another one and I finish it in a day. And then I start another one and I finish it in a
Oh my.
day. And then I'll have like a slump where like I don't read for like 2 months.
Wow. I'm going to be honest. We talked about this topic and never for a minute did I think we'd be talking about reading. I'm a little
Well, it's
shook.
content.
I
It's
didn't even
just
think about it that way.
static.
It's static content. And I will tell you that there's reasons why I don't read novel type books now because
Ooh,
I would have to read the whole thing in one sitting and I have no time for
okay.
that. I don't like a cliff. I don't like waiting.
I will
Yes.
say that I was looking at the list of books I've read like this year because I like make a list and I rank them. I like to read books that are either being turned into movies or TV shows so then I can like consume the book part two.
Oh my gosh. I would just
So
wait
like
for the movie. Who needs that?
I know, but like the new Hunger Games movie came out, so I'm like, oh, I need to reread all the books, rewatch all the movies before I can go see the movie.
Oh no, that's amazing.
But I just
That's
finished Lessons in Chemistry, so I can watch the TV show Lessons in Chemistry. So don't tell me. Well, I know what happened, but don't tell me.
okay. We're going to talk about that one. I'm so pumped. I can't believe are you still in the progress of reading it in process?
No, I finished the
Okay.
book, so I can start
Mm,
watching.
I love this. Good topic. One of my favorite shows that I just finished watching.
Really?
Oh, literally. Now, I will
Well,
say
you
that
can tell me why without like
I
I
won't.
know the
Yeah,
plot.
you know the plot and
I
everything
read the
like that.
book.
No, and what the why doesn't even have to do with like giving anything away. So let me just momentarily talk about how I consume content differently than you. So throughout my life, I have always watched TV more voyeuristically. So when you were kids, whatever shows you liked, I would watch. When Tom's watching TV, he picks the shows. He picks really good shows, so I have no issue. It's not like I'm sitting there watching Sports Center or something all night long. He picks really good shows. So I just lean on him. You pick the shows, I'm here for it. And I just sit down with my laptop or my phone because I'm always multitasking. And when a show is good for me, he'll notice and he'll go, oh, you like this one because you're looking up from your laptop. And I'm like, yes. So lessons in chemistry had me from the go. I love it. I love everything about it. I just really the part that I enjoy, I think, the most is when we're in a different time period, because I think that's why I liked Marvelous Mrs. Maisel as well, to see how women were portrayed in in a different era. And that
Hmm.
is so eye-opening to me, to realize like how lucky we are to live in a time that's now versus to have to fight that
Hmm.
battle, which we're still fighting a
I
battle, but it's like a
I
much.
always say, you know, those questions where it's like, if you could live in any time period,
Mhm.
I always say, I wouldn't want to live in any other time period because women didn't have as many rights.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
We watching that show was, oh my gosh, so eye-opening from a standpoint of how she was so smart and intellectual and disregarded. And I was thinking, boy, when I was in high school, I was a really good student. And so to me, I felt that very personally, that she
Mhm.
couldn't be an equal to a man with the same skills. And that was killer. And I just loved seeing her rise out of it and how she spoke up for herself. It is such a good show. So if you don't know this show, anybody listening, go look it up immediately and watch it. Especially if you're a woman, you're going to love it. Mm, good one. I'm so glad you mentioned that one up front because I was saving that one till the end.
Oh, whoops.
That's okay. I was dying to talk about it, but
You
I
know
think
what's really
it.
funny?
What?
Your microphone in the Zoom, your microphone is like blocking your mouth, so I
Oh,
can't see your mouth. So it's just like your head bobbing.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna tilt it a little just so that
Yeah,
it's
there you
not
go.
okay. That'll help you.
That's better.
Okay,
Because it's
that's
just like,
got. That's what you're seeing.
yeah.
I know. I think last time I raised my laptop up, but I forgot to do that this time.
It's okay.
All right. So, what show are you? Are you in a series moment right now? Do you watch series shows? Yeah.
So, Steven and I, we watch a lot of TV together. So then it's kind of funny because we have similar TV tastes, but then he'll want to start, like, I like to go to bed early and he'll stay up later and he wants to watch a show. And I'm like, well, you can't watch anymore without me.
Yeah, right. I know. If I have to travel and we're in the middle of a show, I'm like, do not watch that episode
Yeah.
without me. I relate.
So that makes it hard. But I don't like stressful TV. So he can at least watch the dramatic shows.
Yes.
I just really enjoy the comedy shows, which makes a lot of sense. Mainly because when I watch stressful TV, I'm like writing a bit about this right now. When I watch stressful TV, I like have nightmares because it's
Oh,
like I
wow.
get so like I just feel like I'm
You
such
live it.
an empath.
You're in it.
Like
Mm.
I feel the feelings of the character so real, and then I have nightmares. So right now
Mm.
we also watch a couple of shows at a time so that
Okay.
we like depending on what we're in the mood for.
Okay.
So like and we like to rewatch the good shows. So like that's the good shows, The Office, Parks
Mm.
and Rec, New
Okay.
Girl, Schitt's Creek, that stuff. Those are like top tier.
Hmm.
Um, right now we're watching a show called Crashing.
Oh.
It's on HBO. It's with Pete Holmes, who's a comedian, and I think you and Dad would like it. It's about and it was recommended by it was recommended to me by one of my comedian friends, and it was recommended to Steven by one of his friends who does stand-up
Oh.
comedy. So we both got separately recommended this show.
Okay. I like this.
But it's about a stand-up comedian starting their journey in New York City. And like the the it really accurately portrays
And who's in
to
it?
an
Because
extent.
this sounds so familiar that I actually think I might know it, but we
Um,
might have watched it. Is it a new show?
no, it's older.
Oh, okay. Then I
Pete
think we,
Pete
yeah.
Holmes is the main comedian in it, but
Okay. I'm
that's what we're
gonna,
watching right now.
okay.
But we're also watching some other shows. So, but that's the main one that like we're almost done
That's
with
a
it,
good
which is
one. That's a
sad
good one.
too.
Well, we watch a lot of series. I'm going to say this Tom's the, like I said, picker of the shows, but he picks some really good ones. And what
The
is
show you told us about on the hike, where you're like, I don't
that
know
was one.
why.
I forgot the wilderness or whatever. No, there's a bunch that we watched that were good. Like he picks For All Mankind. That's a really good one because it's about space. And you know me, I'm like obsessed with space, the moon, the things out there, and how I love meteor showers and all that. So of course that hits me. I like the morning show, of course. Mrs. Maisel was great. But what I will say is when you talked about the feeling bad feeling and what I really hated watching Breaking Bad when Breaking Bad was, popular, we couldn't watch it. I said, no, we can't watch the show. I can't. I would go to sleep at night with like a feeling of angst, of distress and stress and distress all wrapped up into one. And I couldn't sleep, relax. It was terrible. So I'm with you on, I need good vibes on my content.
Yeah.
I need
It's like
funny, romantic, or clever, or insightful, all of that, all good. Could be
yeah.
mysterious even, but I don't like bad feelings. I don't like
Yeah.
drug movies or
Violence, fighting.
violence. I
It's
don't.
like,
Yeah.
remember over the summer when, because
Oh,
dad always likes to pick out a movie and we sit
and
on the
he's
couch and we'll watch a movie together. And he loves action
action. Yeah,
movies.
he likes action
And
movies.
I can sit for like the Marvel, the superhero, those,
Hmm.
but he picked this movie called Mother.
Oh, I don't remember the name
And
of it. You're good. You remember the name of
and
it?
well, I remember it because we're sitting on the couch and it's a J-Lo movie. So I'm thinking like Made in Manhattan, that kind of vibe. And it comes
J
on
Lo's killing
and
people. What's going
and
on?
J-Lo is just obliterating people with her bare hands. And I turned to dad and I also had taken a little gummy at this point, and I go, why the fuck are we watching this?
That was a bad
He's
movie. I
like,
do. I remember that.
and his face was like, we can change it.
Because it's not good. It's not a good feeling to have those kind of feelings.
So bad.
This is what
And
I will say.
we were only like 10 minutes into
Yeah, it
this movie, and
didn't take long.
she is bludgeoning people.
It didn't take long for that one to show its true colors. But what I like when he picks movies like that on nights where I have to get work done, because then I know that's happening over there and I'm over here on my laptop just fine.
You're in a safe space.
I can completely tune that out. So sometimes he'll say, "Oh, you want to watch this?" And I know I have a lot to do. Yes, we'll watch that. And it's not anything I want to watch. So it's perfect for me. So that's why when he sees me paying attention, he knows I'm really into a show versus I'm doing my other stuff. A lot of times I watch TV. He's watching one of those type of movies. I have an earbud in and I'm like literally scrolling through TikToks and making sure I know what's going on social media.
I know.
I know you know.
I'm
I know
there.
you know. Multitasking at all times. It is helpful. It is helpful. But what I have learned about myself recently, and I can take this way back to childhood. What I have learned is when we watch these series, I don't like a cliffhanger. I am not a
Same.
fan of the cliffhanger. I would rather wait until the show has all the episodes out so that I'd much prefer to binge watch. I'm not a fan. And when I was a kid, we used to watch lots of shows that were, Brady Bunch. What did we watch? Bewitched. I Dream of Jeannie, I Love Lucy, all the shows. But Batman was a series. And I remember we used to come from school. We wanted to watch Batman. And every time Batman always had a cliffhanger at the end. And I hated it. I hated it then. And I hate it now. So I'm just not, even when it's like lessons in chemistry. No, I just want to get to the end. I wish that was just a movie. I much prefer a movie that has a beginning and an end before I go to sleep.
I agree. And another thing that I just thought of,
But
that you like this too, that we love trailers.
oh my gosh, trailers. I could watch trailers as a show. The two of us.
We started watching some trailers the other night because we're trying to figure out what to watch. And I was like, let's watch another trailer.
Let's just watch trailers.
You just want to watch trailers? I was like, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
But the thing is, this is another thing about me and also dad. So I think I got this from dad.
Okay.
But like we can watch a trailer or like watch the first 10 minutes of a movie and we'll know how it ends. And I'll be like, oh, this is gonna happen. And Steven has had to tell me to like stop doing that. He's like, if you think you know it's gonna happen, write it down in your notes app and then you can show it to me at the end of the movie that you were right.
It's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Because I don't want to know. Yeah, I have the same issue.
I don't like ruining it, but I like being like, I predicted what was going to happen in the first 4 minutes.
Yes, you and dad are so aligned. Like he'll do the same thing to a movie, and he's like, "This is going to happen." That come out. What? How do you know? And it is kind of ruined. So I'm going to tell him to write it down in his note app now. That's how we're going to go forward.
It's a good one.
But the funny thing is, when he likes to record sports now, he'll actually say, "Don't tell me. I'm going to watch it later." But I don't need to go through that. Just tell me who wins, and if I want to watch it.
When he watched the Michigan Ohio State game was last week.
Yeah.
And he was like, we have a full day planned. I'm not going to watch this game until 9 p.m. And I'm like, this is a noon game. How are you going to You're gonna
It's
go on
torture.
media blackout for
He
like
does try. He
12
does
months.
try. And he's like, don't tell me if you have any apps on your phone. So what he did was where he's about to play the recording. And he says
Hmm.
to me point blank, do you know who wins? Okay. So my face, I'm like, nope. I
But you
literally,
know.
of course I knew who won. Like, nope. Like just the look on my face. And he just walked away shaking his head. And at the end of the game, he goes, you knew from the beginning. I could tell you couldn't lie. I was like, I can't. But it's just like, don't ask me then. I don't want to have to put a
So
poker. He's like,
funny.
you have a terrible poker face. That was the funniest thing. Oh my gosh. What I want to say about trailers that you mentioned before is
Hmm.
when we used to go to the movies in the East Coast, and then I would travel to California for work, and I would go to the movies on the West Coast. In California, they used to play like 10 trailers before a movie, which, by the way, they do now on the East Coast. But at the time, this was a really unusual West Coast thing. And it was why I used to love to go to the movies when I was on the West Coast, because they would play trailer after trailer. And I was like, in heaven, another trailer, let's go, another trailer. And so dad, you know, does not like trailer. He's just like, oh, let's just get to the movie. He's not a trailer guy at all. So it's so funny now because now I like to get to the movies early still to watch all the 10 trailers. Bring it on. I'm a trailer girl.
Hmm. Same.
I love them.
I
I just feel
love
like
the
I've watched the whole movie
trailers.
too. It's like I got a
Yeah,
whole
you got
sense
the
of a
whole
movie.
it's a 2-minute movie.
Oh, it's the ultimate short form content for us, the content
Yeah.
queens. Oh, maybe that's why we like it so much too, because we are versed in short form content.
Hmm.
I always said I don't really have an interest in producing or directing a movie because I don't think I'd have the patience for it. I like more instant gratification. I like the commercial or the short form video, and then within a month or two, we have a finished video. I'm not always a fan of this is going to drag out for 2 years. I don't know if I have the patience for it.
Hmm.
I think a little bit too much. I'm on to the next thing. I have too many things going on. I can't focus on that for so long. So I
That's
don't know.
fair.
That's just my take on on content in general. What do you think of this idea about longer form content on platforms like TikTok now that are trying to be like YouTube? They're suggesting longer videos now. Did you get the alert on your phone?
No.
Really? A lot of people talking about this on their content that they're getting alerts from TikTok that's recommending you post videos longer than a minute
Hmm.
and even
Well,
longer videos than
they
10
need to
minutes.
give you better music.
True. That's true. I don't know. Maybe they're counting on content without music or without being music driven, which is weird for a music app.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I watched a couple of the experts and the TikTok gurus that talk about like where the platform is heading. And there's that woman, Coco Moco. She does predictions. She's good at predictions. And her thing is that they are trying to push longer format content so that they can put breaks with video content ads in the middle. So like
Mm.
the way YouTube you'll
So
be
like
watching a
YouTube does.
video
So
and
yeah.
it suddenly breaks. And that's what her prediction is. And she's like, that's why they're trying to push longer format content. And I was thinking myself about doing a test. I was like, maybe I should take part 1 of the TikTok course and just put it on my TikTok page and just let it rip. Look at your face. Why are you saying no?
That's a part of the business. That's how you get subscribers.
Okay, yeah, but I think I'd still get
Make
subscribers because
something else.
no, but I'm saying they would only get the beginning, and then they'd have to go and get the class to find the rest of it. I thought it might be a fun, like almost like a longer teaser to the course. We can discuss. We can discuss.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think it's a bad idea. Or you're right, make a longer format video, like maybe post part of a workshop that we do or something like something longer form, and see if it does
Mhm.
well. See if TikTok pushes it out. Do you think I should join the creativity beta program for the longer format content? I would like your opinion on this. Do you know what this is?
No.
They've gotten rid of the creator fund, which is paying people for the views on their videos. Supposedly that went away in
Mhm.
December. I was never a part of it, so I wasn't involved in it. But now there's a creativity beta program where you can get paid for ads on your longer videos, or you can get paid
Mm.
for your longer content views on your longer content. But I don't know if it's then they're going to suddenly start shoving ads into it, which is a little terrifying.
I mean, probably, but that's how you would make money on YouTube. So I don't see why you wouldn't
Yeah,
do
right.
that.
Yeah. And I think if people like your content, they might stick around for it. So I was debating of all the things I've clicked no to on TikTok, should I click yes to this one, Julie?
I think so.
I think maybe, right? And
Hmm.
then we just give it a shot. Like I post some longer content and see what happens. Post a clip of something that's like a longer lesson and see if people stick around for it. And then if they want to stick around for it, they'll watch the ad just like they do on YouTube. Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I think it could be fun.
And,
Would you, if you want, you could also do like longer comedy bits. And is there a
mhm.
reason why not to post longer comedy bits on social media? Is it should the idea of theft or people stealing your bits a concern or not so much?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit, but also just like I'm having, I don't have a lot of like banked video content for my stand up.
Mm.
So part of it is like if I post it, then like that's it.
Ah,
Versus like chopping it up, I have more opportunities to post. So that's kind of what I'm struggling with right now. My last show that I did like 3 weeks ago now, I got the video back and I heard them talking about how they're having mic problems that night.
no.
And so I got my video. I sent it to you. I don't know if you watched it
No, I didn't see it. Oh. Did you send it in a text?
in an email.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'll look. I have to go see it.
Um, but it was a really good set. I was definitely one of the best performers there. It was one, and you couldn't hear any of the laughter in the video unless
Oh,
it was like booming laughter. So
that's
it's like I
annoying.
bombed, but I didn't bomb because I knew I was like one of the better performers and I got laughs and it was really good. Like my voice memo on my phone has more
Oh,
laughs
oh,
than the video.
wow.
So now it's like, okay, I just wasted $35 and I have 8 minutes of content that I don't want to post because it doesn't look funny. So now I have to like maybe bits that I have another show next week that I maybe would have not done because I want to try new stuff.
Mm.
Now I want to do it because I want a good video of
A
it. Like
better video. Mm,
I
I
have my
get it.
pickleball bit and I have not gotten a good video of this bit
Oh,
since I started doing it. And it's like it's one
it's
of
a
my
good
best.
one. Yeah, it's a
I'm
good
gonna do it
one.
in New York because I just feel like it's solid. It's really fun. And as a sidebar, what writing material and then having it like work every time you perform it is
That's so
so
good.
satisfying. And I thought I would get bored of performing like the same material. And to an extent, I do. But there is something really gratifying about writing something that makes every audience laugh,
Oh, I
no
love
matter
that.
what the audience is.
I think that's important. And I do think it's okay to do those things again and again. Think about
Yeah,
performers that are performing music. They're singing the
I
same
know.
songs again and again. It's
It's the
really
same
okay.
thing.
It is the same thing. I wonder, I have a question for you about it. You don't think it's the same thing? Are you making fun of me to
No,
say?
just like they said that. Like, it is the same thing.
I'm serious. It is. I love when things relate to things. I just when something relates to something else. Like when I took the cold plunge and I was like, I thought about that cold plunge until I was making myself crazy and doing it was so much easier. So when I suddenly take that learning and then I relate it to life, I love when that happens. That's like an epiphany. So I'm a big things relate to things type person.
Hmm. So what was your question?
I forgot. Oh,
It's about,
the question is, would you consider writing bits specifically for social media? Because let me hear me out on this for a second, because your social media already, you have a comedy edge to it. You find trends and you always twist them in a funny way. And you have, and I'm not saying that you should take all of your comedy that you perform on stage to then put it onto social media, because I don't think that's a good strategy for you. Because you're right, people want to come to see you, and then you don't want friends and family to come and they've seen all your social media, so they know all your jokes. So that's not so much fun.
yeah.
But would you consider saying, putting a challenge to yourself, like, I'm going to write 2 social media bits this week? I don't mean the topic is social media, but something where you just put your podcast microphone up. Actually, that's not a bad idea. We're thinking on the fly here, but you put your podcast microphone up and you record your bit into the computer for a change or something, or you set up the phone, however you want to do it, and make little comedy blips and test out your jokes on social media. Are you thinking? I like that. I like when you don't respond right away because you're percolating. Or or are you going to go, maybe Helen, like, you know, when I have an idea, you think it's bad, but you don't want to tell me it's a bad idea. What do you say usually when I have an idea and you don't want to hurt my feelings?
I go, okay,
We can think
let me
about
think
it.
about that.
We
Let
can
me
think
think about
about it.
that for a second.
You said we could
Let's
think
think
about
on
that.
that first.
All right. So are you thinking on this or do you think it's actually maybe a good idea?
No, I've had this idea before of like a series where it's because I try and write. I haven't been very consistent this week or last week because of the holiday, where I've been trying to write like an hour a day. And I was thinking I should do like a series where like once or twice a week after like a writing session, I'd be like, here are the jokes I'm trying to figure out and like share the process of writing. So it's similar
Okay,
without
that's
like
another way to do
being
it. Wait,
performative.
but now you're onto something really good about content creating. Oh, I love when it all comes back to content creating.
Social media is
Okay,
everything
it is
to Helen.
to some people. But here's the idea. You could actually take this concept and get 3 pieces of content out of it every time. So you can
Mm-hmm.
film yourself. This is how you should think about content. Everybody who's listening is that you can take one thought and you can make it into 3 pieces of content. So the one is you actually performing the bit. The second one is you working out the joke. And the third is maybe behind the scenes or something, or, or kind of the bloopers, maybe. Maybe that's the third one where you kind of make the mistake as you're trying to do the jokes. There's a way to take something like that conceptually and turn that into 3 pieces of social media content that can be completely different than anything you perform on stage. I think you should take that
Yeah.
on as a test and do it for a week or two and see if it feeds you. The main thing
Yeah.
for these things, as I always say, whenever I have an idea, a new idea about content, you right away try it and you right away see, is this going to work for me or not? Because I had a thought in the summer, like, oh, maybe I should do a Dear Diary series. And honestly, I did 1 or 2 entries and then I was like, this series doesn't feed me. And it didn't bother me at all that it didn't work. I just moved on from it. I posted 1 or 2 and then I was like, no, I'm not really interested in that. It just didn't,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't feed me, so to speak, I guess. It didn't feel good. And it didn't feel like something that was going to make a difference in my content. So I let it go. But that's the whole point. Like you try something and then you say it works, or wow, this is great. I should have done this sooner. When I was testing out
Mm-hmm.
doing a tutorial as a joke, that's a perfect example. And look what happened.
Yeah.
Here I am now. I don't know.
I will say, I think I feel like this is getting off topic,
That's
but
okay.
I do have 3 comedy friends now that I write with every week.
Mm-hmm.
And we all write jokes. And we started making TikToks together, but we made like our plan is this has no relevance to like anything we just talked about. I don't know why I'm saying it, but we are going to try and run shows in the new year, like produce our own shows.
What? I love that this is off topic in a good way. That's such a good idea.
Because we all are very annoyed on how beholden to other people we are to like have stage time when we kind of just want to pump out new material and have a show to look to at least every month.
That's a great idea. So do you
At
have
minimum.
thoughts on how you're going to do that yet? Or are you just percolating it now?
We're kind of like I made us a group Instagram. We have a
Right.
name. I don't know if I should announce it, but
Yes.
I haven't talked to any of them. None of them listen to this podcast. Um, but it's like not set up yet. I just really reserved like the handle.
Okay.
But the name is going to be Brick Wall Comedy
Okay.
because hear me out. All the biggest comedy clubs have brick walls, and our goal is to like perform in front of the brick walls.
I never even realized that. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Good
So,
branding already right off the bat.
of course, I thought of the name.
Of course. That's
So
a
we're thinking
great
about it for
idea.
like we were thinking about it for like weeks, and we couldn't. Nothing was like hitting home. And then there's a place here called the Fourth Wall, and we were talking about it, and they were one of them, Kobe was like, I love the Fourth Wall name. I think it's like such a fun play on like breaking the
Yeah,
fourth
breaking
wall.
the
And
fourth wall. I love that.
I was like, oh, what's something like that? And I was like, what about brick wall? And everyone was just like, ah.
Yes, because that's true. I've really never even thought about it. Now that if you think about it, the improv has the brick wall, I think the Comedy Store. There's a few of them that have that right off the bat have a brick
Like
wall.
the Cellar, like all the New
Cellar.
York ones have.
Right. Okay, that's good. And then as a group, you would try. Are you going to try and bring other people into the group and then do it that way?
So like
What's your thinking?
we would produce the show and then we would get other comedians into the like we would recruit other comedians for the shows. But yeah, that it's very trying to do it for the beginning of like 2024.
Okay.
So that, yeah.
Good. That sounds like fun. I'm excited for this.
You'll have to come out to a show.
I will. I'll definitely be there for the inaugural brick wall hosted show. I love this idea.
Celebrity in the house.
And this is a perfect example of people who sit there and think, oh, I can't make it. I can't break into this, that, and the other thing. And then it's like the only thing stopping you is your own thoughts because you can just decide, oh, well, this is a barrier. Let's find another way to enter. So ignore the barrier to entry and create a new door. And I like your door. This is great.
I saw a TikTok the other day. Now we're really getting off topic, but it's fine.
This is almost how it should be. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe each week we just like talk about whatever's on our mind, and then that's the episode.
That's what we'll do next week.
It was a Greta Gerwig clip, and it was like she's the one who directed Barbie.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I saw
just because I don't know names of actresses a lot of times or actors. I don't know, and
she's a director.
Okay, director, got it.
But she had this video where she's like, just keep making things, and if people aren't letting you make things with them, like make your own things, and just keep making as much as you can, like, and don't get hung up if one thing doesn't work, and just keep going and keep creating and pump out as much content as you can, but like
keep going.
The more you make, the better you'll get. So that's kind of.
I love it. Great work to the three of you already. I'm proud.
There's 4 of us, but
is there 4? Oh, good. I didn't know. Well, I haven't met them, so I only met the one that you
only 2 of them are on social media, so that makes sense.
Okay. We've got to get the 4th one on social media. What the heck?
I know. It'll happen.
I know. I think so. Oh, I'm so excited. This sounds like lots of promising things happening, and I just like that we're always in motion, and that's, I think, our biggest connection, because our personalities oftentimes are very different, because you have a lot of personality traits from Tom, as you always say, but we have some very similar styles on the creativity side, I think, because we're always
next week. Maybe that's next week's episode.
Yeah, because we're always kind of reinventing and thinking, and I don't know. We don't stay in one place. It's not like I'm always thinking, even now as a tutorial doer on the platforms, I'm like, what else can I do? I can't just do tutorial. Like, I'm always thinking about the next thing and how it's going to change. And I think that's so important. Well, all right, let's wrap it up with what I was going to ask you before we got off topic of content consumption. I was going to ask you, what's your current favorite show, and what would you recommend people to watch if you had to pick one show?
Well, I really like the Crashing show, because I feel like it really gives an insight into like the stand-up comedy world.
Okay. That's a good one.
I also. Do
you have a second one?
Yeah. I feel like that's it for right now.
Okay. So it's just one. I'm going to go hard on Lessons in Chemistry again. So if nobody has watched it, go for it. But if you are a fan of all things outer space, check out For All Mankind, because that's another kind of deep one that I think learning about what's out there beyond us and the possibilities, that excites me, and I just enjoy it. So that's it for this week. We had fun talking about content, and next week we'll just go off the rails completely, and we'll see what we come up with. Yeah, we'll call that episode ADHD or Squirrel, because what are we talking about next? All right, thanks for today, Julie. It was good seeing you. Yours truly,
Helen and Juli.
If you like this episode, please do leave us a review, because it does help us find new listeners. And I am so excited to tell Julie that we are getting some traction on YouTube, and we're getting some serious listens over on the YouTube viewing podcast, which is why we want to keep the quality good here on the video. So that's awesome. Again, a lot of the things we mentioned today are in the show notes, so feel free to tap through the links and see what you find there. And if you want to look for us on social media, we are at The Mothership with a U and at Juli Polisi. That's Julipolise. Our podcast is yours truly. The podcast. Give us a follow on Instagram. We don't really push our Instagram much, but it's the place where we host our trailers and our updates to when we have new content coming. And thank you to our amazing editor, Nick. Thank you for being here and taking care of us. We try to make it seamless for you, Nick, but sometimes we screw up. So thanks for fixing it. And that's all for today. Have a good one.
Bye.